This is the big sis chat that you really don't know you needed to hear today. If there's one thing that I want to get through to all of your guys' minds today, is that self-compassion tips that will completely change your mindset and the way you view yourself. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rebecca, your self-development sis, and I'm so excited you clicked on today's video because today's topic is extremely important. And if there's one thing that I want to get through to all of your guys' minds today, is that life is too short to be anything but self-compassionate to ourselves, but to have self-love for ourselves. And today's topic was actually inspired by one of our community members because she commented and was like, can you please make a video about self-compassion? And I was like, honestly, yes, the girlies need to hear this today because we as women are not really taught how to be kind to ourselves. We are taught to actually do the opposite, to dislike ourselves, to look at the next thing to buy to make us like ourselves more, and the next thing, and fix this thing about us. When in actuality, we might just need to do a little inner work. We might just need to learn how to love ourselves, how to be kind to ourselves, and then we won't feel the need to be, buying all these things or being put down by society standards. So in today's video, I'm gonna go over some mindset tips and some mindset shifts I wish I heard sooner, so I could have learned how to be much more compassionate to myself way earlier on in my life. This is the big sis chat that you really don't know you needed to hear today. Because I'm at a place in my life right now where I'm not kidding. I am my biggest cheerleader. Like, I am hyping myself up 24/7, maybe 24/6. I will say I do have some bad days sometimes. I'm not perfect. I am human, so there are the moments where I'm down on myself. But like more often than not, I'll literally be working in the day and I'll do something. And I'm like, yes, Rebecca, good job. Okay, nice. Keep it up. Like, you might not get the results you want to see yet, but you will get there. I'm proud of you. Keep going. Like, I will literally say that out loud to myself. If anybody saw me while I was doing it, they would probably think I'm crazy, but it's a good thing I work from home by myself for myself. Because if you want to get somewhere, if you want to be successful, you got to be your number one hype man, your number one cheerleader, because no one else is going to do it for you if you're not literally going to do it for yourself. So here are the self-compassion tips I wish I knew sooner, so I could have been my number one cheerleader much sooner in life than now. Before we get into today's video, I wanted to let you know that if you are an aspiring full-time content creator, female entrepreneur, or coach, health coach, then I'm starting a corporate to creator mastermind program that will be coming soon. And I don't want you to miss out on all the juiciness that's coming because I'm only taking a limited amount of spots for this first round. So if you want more information on it, add your email to the waitlist in the description below. I'm so excited for this, especially because I'm so passionate about helping fulfillment, passion-led female entrepreneurs, creators, and coaches do what they love full time, because that was my journey. And I know what it's like to go from being miserable in a corporate job to doing something you love and that you look forward to every single day. So be sure to add your email to the waitlist in the description. And now let's get back to the video. Number one, this mindset shift has completely changed my life because it's completely changed the way I view myself. And that is, there's only ever going to be and only ever have been one you. There will never be another you, and there never has been you. Out of all the billions, millions peoples that have ever existed on this earth and will continue to exist, there's never going to be you, another you. So once that got through my brain, I was like, oh my gosh, there's really only one me and only ever will be one me. So why don't I own the F out of who I am and start loving myself and start showing compassion to myself, because there's only one me. Embracing more of me, being more my authentic self. Like, once I learned that, I was like, wow, life is too short to be anything but me. And my unique gifts and my superpowers are found in just being myself. So that's number one. Number two. Second tip, I need you to start thinking about yourself as a child. And what I mean by that is that children respond best to positive reinforcement rather than negative reinforcement. There's all these psychology studies done on it where if you give a child positive reinforcement and you tell them something good for the things that they already have been doing, something good they did, and you give them reinforcement saying good job on the thing they did, they're going to continue to do more of that because they want to continue to get your praise and your approval. Versus you tell them, bad job, you suck, how dare you do that? You give them negative reinforcement on something, then they're going to feel shame and they're going to be scared to do things because there's negative reinforcement. So you have to look at yourself like a child. And when it comes to self-compassion, you have to give yourself positive reinforcement for the things you want to see more of from yourself rather than putting yourself down for the things that you maybe didn't do. Because then you're really not going to do it if you keep putting yourself down on it. So think of yourself as a child and start giving yourself that positive reinforcement like I do. I hype myself up. Anytime I do something good that I want to see more of, I'm giving myself a pat in the back. Great job, Rebecca. Number 3, this mindset shift also really changed the game for me. And I think I heard Margarita talk about this when it comes to the way you look. And basically she was saying that your ancestors have had to go through so much for you to be here. And what a shame it would be to not honor them by not being happy with yourself or the way you look, because your ancestors literally had to go through famines, wars, cold, like so much. I can't even fathom what they had to go through for me to be here today. They had to go through so much, and the odds of me being here, that every single ancestor made it to make me at where I'm at today, oh my gosh, those odds are slim to none. So when I think about how much of a blessing and how much of a gift and how much of a miracle it is that I was able to be born in this time and be who I am, and how much my ancestors had to go through to get me here, that makes me want to honor the F out of myself and who I am and what I've been through and what my family's been through. Like, that's such a celebration of life. And so not taking that for granted and to realize how grateful I am that I was able to be here is a whole new perspective shift on myself. And why would I put myself down if my ancestors had to go through so much to get me here today? Next tip. You have to treat yourself like a child, yes, but you also have to treat yourself like your best friend. And you have to ask yourself when you say something to yourself, would I say that to my best friend? Would my best friend still want to be friends with me if I said that thing to her? The things you're saying to yourself. Probably not. And that's a scary realization to have, because if you are not treating yourself with the same self-compassion that you would treat somebody you love, a friend, a family member, then why do you think you should be saying it to yourself? The most important relationship you'll ever have in this life is a relationship with yourself. So why would you say that? Take it back. You have to treat yourself like your best friend. So therefore, don't say anything negative to yourself that you wouldn't say to somebody else. Next tip. A lot of self-compassion, I've realized, has come just from a result of positive momentum. And that's why I'll treat myself like my best friend. I'll treat myself like my number one cheerleader and my number one hype man. Because the more you do things that are good for you, the more you are kind to yourself, the more you give yourself positive reinforcement, that builds and brings more positive momentum. So a lot of what self-compassion is just positive momentum. And so maybe that looks like switching one negative mindset to something positive. Maybe that looks like giving yourself one positive affirmation. And that over time builds. So the more I positively hype myself up, the more I feel that momentum, then the more it's easier to just have more self-compassion for myself. So start building upon one another to have this positive momentum. And over time, you're going to be a complete different person. You're going to look back and be like, oh my gosh, I was so not my best self back then because I was putting myself down, versus now I'm utilizing the momentum that comes from being kind to myself to then inspire positive change and growth within myself. And last mindset shift that completely changed the way I view self-compassion and the way I treat myself was realizing that beating myself up in that exact moment doesn't change anything that I want to change. Beating myself up doesn't make any circumstance better. In fact, it just makes it worse. It just breeds negative energy. And when you feed into negative energy, you're going to attract more negative energy. So once I realized that if I can switch that narrative and flip it to actually not beat myself up in that present moment and say, it's all right. Maybe this isn't the exact outcome you wanted or the exact thing you wanted, but we're going to learn from this. We're going to grow from this, and we're going to continue to evolve. And I'm proud of you and I love you no matter what. Boom, game changer. Because it is a waste of energy to do anything but that. It's a waste of energy to beat yourself up for something that isn't going to change the outcome. You realize that it doesn't do any good for you. So once you truly start to flip that narrative, you don't want to do anything that's not good for you. And beating yourself up is not good for you and doesn't change any outcome that you desire. So those are my tips on self-compassion. Thank you for watching today's video. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future Sunday self-development ones, and I'll catch you in the next one.